Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Beardychiel's Knitting Banter, episode 19. My name is John Glenn, better known as Beardychiel, and for those of you who are watching us for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are returning viewers, it's lovely to have you back. I hope you enjoy this podcast. I was due to podcast next week, but because Perth Festival of Yarn is this weekend, I decided to sneak a podcast in early, and we'll do one this week and we'll do another post-festival podcast with any major stash enhancements or festival stories next week. So, as I say, my name is John Glenn, better known as Beardychiel, and you will find me as Beardychiel in all of the places that appear on the side of the screen. Facebook, Twitter, Ravelry, Instagram, YouTube, and of course you'll find me on email at beardychiel@gmail.com, and you will find me on my website www.beardychiel.uk. Pardon me, and all of that has been on the screen while I've been blethering. If you want to find it, you can always go back in the video, pause and take a note of it. So, what have I got for you? Quite a lot to get through today. I'm concentrating on just one camera to save time with the editing and the uploading. Normally I use two, as you know, but I decided to simplify today to let us move a wee bit faster. Since last time, what have I been up to? Well, my knitting has focused mainly on some shawl design work. Excuse me, I'm on ginger ale today. With just a dash of lime juice. I'll be back in a second. My phone's just started to buzz and that's a pain in the behind. Right, that should sort that out. Pain in the bottom. Mobile phones are wonderful, but they're also a pain. So what have we been up to? Yeah, mainly working on some shawl design, which I will show you later. Lots of time with the family. There has been some swimming time with Ian, grandson number 1. There's been swimming time with Ruben, grandson number 2. We haven't had swimming time with Leo, grandson number 3 yet. That's still to come. What else have we had? On Sunday this week, the best of excitement, we had a new arrival in the family. My niece Megan, who you'll know from the previous podcasts I've been knitting for, was delivered of a happy, healthy, bouncing 9 pound 13 ounce baby girl who they've named Emily. And I got a chance to visit Emily yesterday and to have a hug and have a chat to Emily and a chat to her mum and dad and hear all of the excitement of their journey to the hospital and the delivery and all the things which families share at a time like this. And I have to say, as with all newborns, she's an absolute cutie. What can I say? It's a newborn. Newborn babies are always cute. They're lovely to hold. She came, sat in my arms quite quickly. They're into a routine with her. The bit that really shocked me was from walking through the hospital door to being back through her own front door again. Megan was in our local maternity unit for less than 5 or 6 hours. An amazing turnaround. She got in, delivered the baby within 15-20 minutes. That's how close they were and how fine it was cut. No problems whatsoever. She was happy and healthy, the baby was happy and healthy, everyone in the hospital was happy, and they said to her, well, if you want to go home, you can. So she did, and she's feeling really relaxed about it. She and her partner Stephen and Oliver have all get into the habit, or are all getting into the habit of having this new face around the house. She has been inundated with visitors, I must add, and that's leaving her a little bit tired, as it would any new mum, but she's been delighted to show off this new arrival. So yeah, no, I was absolutely delighted to get in last night and get a hug. What else? Since I last spoke to you, my health continues to be reasonable. I'm neither awfully ill nor awfully good. My exercise tolerance is still not wonderful, but it's not where it was a year ago when I took ill. It has definitely improved a little. I can now go swimming for 45 minutes or an hour, mess around in the pool with the kids, and come out again without getting tired and without falling asleep after it. So that's an improvement. That's a dramatic improvement in a year, and I'm really delighted with that. I was in to see my doctor last week for a general medication review and MOT. She said everything's ticking over nicely. As per the consultant physician's instructions, continue with the anticoagulants. Keep doing what I'm doing. They are considering a little bit of elective surgery to help my recovery. And when and if that comes to fruition, I will tell you about it. But at the moment, it's a waiting game, as with all things National Health Service. The Centre of Excellence for it is in a different region, a different local area NHS group. Therefore, one has to decide if they're going to give the funds to the other one to carry out the procedure on their behalf. So I'm stuck in the middle of an administrative battle at the moment. Might be good, might be bad, don't know, just have to wait and see. What else have I been up to? Well, some cooking of dinners at home, some child minding at home. Grandson Ian has been in a lot more often this last 2 weeks because his mum is appearing in a local production of The Wizard of Oz and has had a few rehearsals to attend in the early evenings. So Ian has been coming here after school and spending time with us and then going home at bedtime, which is absolutely fine. At the moment we're playing noughts and crosses, tic-tac-toe to the Americans, and chess. Chess is the popular game for him at the moment. I don't know if there's anyone else in his class plays chess, but he plays a reasonably good beginner's game. He's getting on fine, the boy, and I'm delighted to do that with him. What else? I'm trying to think what else there is in sort of general family roundup and local area roundup. There's been nothing absolutely dreadful. Oh yeah, musical instruments are out. I am joining with a couple of friends who used to meet me on a regular basis, and we would perform some folk songs together in a local hotel. And another one of my friends is organising a fundraising concert for Sarcoidosis UK. Sarcoidosis is a disease which unfortunately killed their partner. The wife of many years, Kim, sadly passed away about a year and a quarter ago, very, very suddenly at home. And as they're dealing with it, they've decided they're going to help organise this concert. She was a keen amateur dramatist like myself, and the local theatre have donated their premises, and they were looking for people to fill a 2-hour variety concert. So a friend Val and I have said we will dig out our barans. I think we have a penny whistle player joining us, and we have a fiddle player joining us. Well, fiddle and banjo. He'll improvise. We're going to plan a 3-number set, and we'll contribute that to the fundraising event that night. And that, I think, is the second last Saturday in September. So we're going to start rehearsals for that next week, and that will be absolutely wonderful fun, because by that time the festival at Perth will be over and my brain will be slightly clearer, because the rest of the time I have been blethering like a mad thing. I'm so excited. I have been chatting with my friend Eva Christie, the director of Perth Festival of Yarn. And I hate to say it, I think I've pestered her, or she's spoken to me every couple of days for the last few weeks. I've been helping collate something which will be announced at the end of the podcast. So that's that. So what's next? Well, another little drink, because I'm getting awfully dry. And that little piece of music in the background tells me someone's trying to contact me on my tablet, but it's just going to have to sit in the other room until I'm finished. Works in progress. Now, I don't know what order to do these in. So, what have we got? Number one, I said I was working on some shawl development, and I have been working on a fingering weight lace shawl, and I felt I wanted to knit something else lacy since I did the forest floor shawl a year or so ago, but I couldn't decide exactly what. And I was looking around and I thought, you know something, I like leaf motifs, I like roses. In fact, I like Art Nouveau roses. Being a Glaswegian, I automatically think of the stained glass and painting rose designs of Charles Rennie Mackintosh, architect, designer, artist, who contributed to the Art Nouveau movement. I also love some of the Art Nouveau shapes around tulips, and I thought, well, why not convert some of the shapes you like into charts and see if they'll produce a piece of lacework. So that's what I've been doing. Last time I showed you that massive cone of red yarn that Eva Christie gave me for prototyping, and I thought that's perfect for prototyping. So there are two charts, development charts. Now these are really, really messy, and as you can see, they are frantically messy because these are my work in progress charts. That's chart number one. Chart number two is here, still in its pad. I've of course done with a different pen. Chart number one was leaf and rose. That's the bottom half of the tulip chart. These were so large that when I thought of reproducing them for publishing this eventually, I decided it was time to make some investment. So I went onto the Stitch Mastery website, downloaded the trial version of the software, tested it, and then bought the full version. And I have to say it has been super to use. Putting those two charts into Stitch Mastery took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours maximum. And as I was actually clicking onto the chart and putting in the symbols I wanted, it generated the text row by row for the pattern. Absolutely super. Delighted with it. So, how goes the knitting? Well, it's on, hang on, check the needle size, I think it's 2.75s. No, I'm wrong, it's 3.5s. So 3.5mm needle. I don't know if you can see much of it. At the moment, chart 1 starts way down there, and chart 1 is leaf, rose, then a bar pattern, and then leaf and rose again for the increases, and the rectangular tulip pattern. And of course I happen to be wearing a red shirt and this is on a red background, so I may have to resort to some photographs. At the moment we've got something which is blocked about 2 feet long, and I am only a third of the way up that second chart. So by the time I finish it, it's going to be probably about 6 foot in diameter. This is slightly more than a semicircle. Unlike other shawls, this isn't designed with gradual increases and a pattern that runs around the shawl. This is specifically designed in wedges. Those wedges are about 36 degrees wide, which means 5 of them give you a 180 degree semicircle. I've chosen to do 6. I've gone for just slightly more than the semicircle. I think sometimes semicircular shawls can be just a little neat when it comes around to the fold over at the front, so I've allowed that extra little bit for myself. What else can I tell you about it? leaves, rosebuds, or leaves, rose heads, tulips and vines. I was hoping to have this pattern knitted as a prototype for my shawl design class on Saturday at Perth Festival of Yarn. Whether or not I'll get it finished, I don't know, because I am doing this today, editing and uploading tonight. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, I am teaching Tunisian crochet to the SWRI in Thrumster here in Caithness. On Thursday night, we're taking Ian to see his mum appear in The Wizard of Oz, and Friday afternoon, we'll be travelling to Perth and starting our weekend with all of our friends who are going to be at Perth Festival of Yarn. Friday night, we're hoping to catch up with one or two people in the hotel. Saturday, general float around day in Perth. Don't know what else we're doing. We do have friends coming to meet us for lunch, so that'll be fun. So yeah, it's going to be hectic. Whether or not I get it finished in time, I don't know. I may just take it along with me as a work in progress to let people see my design process and prototyping process in action. So that's that one. Next work in progress is this one. You've seen this before. This is another shawl. It's been a while since you've seen this one. It was put away, I don't know. Last time you would have seen it would have been just after Rhodes this year, when I was in the bottom section of this brioche shawl for my wife, which is being knitted in Blacker Yarns Samite, which is lovely to work with. I'll just try and get the central section. It's a triangular shawl, and as you can see, since I last time I saw you, I was working on that bottom section on holiday, and then with a little straight plain 2-colour brioche section, and then we're up into a leaf motif above that, and that's going slowly but steadily. As I say, it's lovely to work with. It's really squidgy yarn. I'm really enjoying it, and I've got a little stitch marker tucked in the end there, and I'm blowed if I can remember why I put it there. So this is going on a couple of rows, put it away, a couple of rows, put it away, and it's absolutely fine. It's lovely to work with. It's on 2.75mm needles, and it's the Samite fingering weight. I'm happy with that. It's fun to work on, absolutely super duper. Next work in progress is here in my scrap yarn project bag, and if I pull the poppers and open it, in here, on a cable which is way too long, 2.5mm, is sequence sock number 4. And you know that I've been working on this series of sequence socks throughout the year. Number 3 was published just a couple of weeks ago, and there's competition running for that at present. This is number 4. And the detail for this one is a slip stitch pattern. I've worked with lots of different little sequences. This one's a slip stitch sequence, and when I showed it to grandson Ian, when he asked what I was working on, he looked at it and he named it. He went, "Oh, dragon scales," because the way the pattern comes out, it looks as if it's a set of dragon scales. And on this yarn, which is some Drops Delight, sort of superwash sock wool, 75 wool, 25 polyamide. This is colour 09, Dialot 1124, and it's blues, greens, purples, turquoise, or jade, whatever you want to call it. It's just a lovely set of colours, and yeah, it could be the iridescent scales of a dragon by the time it's finished. It's a 72 stitch sock pattern, knitted on 2.5mm needles. It's coming on quite nicely. I really like the way it feels. With a slip stitch pattern like this, there's one slight problem, and that is if you work the slip stitch pattern on the front and you don't work it on the sole suddenly becomes longer than the instep. So to prevent that from happening, every time that there's a slip stitch row on the front, there's a simple hidden slip stitch row on the inside of the sole, just to keep the instep and the sole growing at exactly the same rate, so that you don't end up with a sole needle sticking out an awful lot more than the instep needle. When we get to the heel, this person has particularly narrow feet. I think these are actually already destined for an owner once I've photographed them and written the pattern. They don't have an incredibly large foot, so I'm knitting a gent's size 8 in length, quite wide at the toe, narrower at the heel, so I'm not going to do anything other than just a short row heel. I may extend though the thickening section of the short row a little further up the back of the sock before I move into putting the entire pattern in the round, just to create a little bit of extra protection against rubbing at the heel of the shoe. But other than that, these are going really well. They're really fun to knit. I'm enjoying them, and I have to say, this project bag, I'd wondered what exactly I would put in it. It's exactly the right size for 2 balls of yarn and a couple of socks. So this is going to become my working sock bag. And allowing for the fact that it cost me 25p for 2 press studs, and the rest is scrap chunky yarn, I'm absolutely delighted. So that's that one. And the last work in progress is this bundle in front of me. Now let me just unwrap. I have, running through this at the moment, one massive Tunisian crochet hook, which I'll stick over here out of the way. And this is a Tunisian, again, this is a scrap yarn project, using the Tunisian entrelac technique. And as you can see at the moment, there's a little bit of beige chunky, there's a little bit of mohair. The turmeric dyed Jacob minis that I had, a brown over dyed with turmeric, a grey over dyed with turmeric, and a white over dyed with turmeric, have become the next round. And there's some other old chunky lying around which is going to become the rest. And this is eventually going to become a bag which will be, at the moment, it's about 6 inches square. So I'll probably take it out another 2 rows, which will take it up another 2 rows, which will take it out, oh, that's about 1.5 inches. So that's 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. Take it out 3 inches either side. It's going to make it about 12 inches wide and about 10 inches high. Then we'll finish it off, sew it off. I might pick up along the top edge. I will of course fill in all of these triangular spaces, and then I'll pick up along that edge, and again like this, I think I'll just pick up and knit on an I-cord, and again leave myself a nice little I-cord handle, and I will have another little scrappy bag. The 4-ply scrappy bag that I showed you last time is still in progress, and it's taken a bit of a back seat because there have been other things to work on. And that finishes works in progress for this time. Right, finished objects. 2 pairs of vanilla baby socks, which have already been delivered to Emily, our newborn. Preparations for Perth Festival of Yarn. There have been some knitting preparation for Perth Festival of Yarn. As a teaching aid for the sections on shawl shaping, I have been knitting some mini shawls. So at the moment they haven't been mounted yet. We have the parallelogram mini shawl. We have even whole crescent shawl, or is that? No, sorry, that's a short row crescent shawl. That's an even spacing, proportional spacing crescent shawl. Those little bits of finished object samples are there. All of my shawl development over the last little while are sitting beside me here ready to pack. There are samples of let's see, 1, 2, oh heavens, I've lost track now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 shawls travelling with me. 8, sorry, there's another 2 in the bedroom. So 10 sample shawls. The work in progress. A pile of written materials, some audio-visual presentation stuff, little shawl shape samples, and the patterns for all of those and the charts for all of those patterns. All that prep work is done. I just have to paste it all together now before packing on Thursday. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So that, in terms of a set of finished objects, is good. The other finished objects, unless you're taking my class, then you're not going to see them because they're not knitted. They are all class materials, and having spent 20 years as a teacher of practical subjects, I know how important reasonably accessible or easily accessible written materials are. So I'll finish pasting the last of those together tonight and print them ready to go. So that's that bit. And that takes me on quite happily to stash enhancement. Well, I haven't been in a yarn store since I last spoke to you. I have been under instructions to behave and to buy nothing until Perth Festival of Yarn. Janet spoke. She said, don't buy anything till Perth Festival of Yarn. I smiled and I said, yes dear. And then I was online and I was speaking to my friend Grace from Babel's Travelling Yarns. And Grace has just entered the world of indie dyeing and set up her Etsy shop and started to put out her first set of yarns. And she showed one to a group of podcasters who meet on Instagram, saying, I've just finished this and I don't know what to call it. And I took one look at it and it reminded me so much of my childhood. I said, it's a fruit salad sweetie bar. And then a group of other people of varying ages all said, yes it is, it's fruit salad. So it was duly named, and she said it was duly named by Beardychiel, and it went into her shop, and I had to buy it, didn't I? If I was responsible for naming it, I had to buy it. So here we are, fruit salad has arrived, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's squishy, it's lemon yellow fading into pink, and there's slightly darker pink bits, slightly paler pink bits. It's just absolutely wonderful. And it is, let's see, so Babel's Travelling Yarns, Babel's Yarns, yarn base is bamboozle, the colourway is fruit salad. It's a 100 gram hank, approximately 400 metres, 60% wool, 25% bamboo, and 15% polyamide. So, wool, bamboo and nylon, fingering weight yarn. I'm thinking this is going to be a pair of socks. It just feels so nice. In fact, in saying that, how does it feel round? You know something? It actually feels really nice around the neck as well. Maybe it would be better as a cowl, eh? I don't know. What do you think? I might keep that on for the rest of the podcast. That feels really nice. Don't be silly, John. So that was that. That arrived very safely and very, very quickly from Ireland, I have to say. So, absolutely wonderful. So thank you, Grace. And no, Grace, I don't have my chopsticks with me. We were talking about how we get enough twist into yarn to make it go away safely without getting RSI strain injuries in our wrists. And I said I normally use a set of chopsticks, put one in each end, hold one steady and twist the other. So that was that one, and I paid for it and it arrived and I'm delighted. And I have to say, Grace, thank you so much for sending it so quickly. I've got so many other things to do. I don't know when I'm going to start working with it, but I'll tell you it's going to be sooner rather than later. Now, also in the midst of it was, and I thought I had brought it with me, maybe I've left it sitting on my desk. Oh no, I did bring it with me. It was a lovely postcard, and the postcard is called HM British Tea Colour Chart Official Colours. This chart is intended for use as a visual aid in the correct preparation of the United Kingdom's most popular hot beverage. So there's all these different colours of tea. I think it's absolutely wonderful. With a lovely message in the back of the card, which is my business, not yours. And a lovely question: what tea do you like? Well, I'm happy to tell that bit on here. My all-time favourite tea is a red block Chinese tea called oolong. I'm also fond of a Chinese tea called pu'er. So oolong and pu'er are my two no milk, no sugar, dark, rich Chinese unscented teas. They taste of tea. They don't taste of anything else. They are both wonderful as a digestive. They're wonderful along with food. I go to a Chinese restaurant, I sit down with a pot of tea, one of those two, and I start to drink my tea. If I feel bagged up, I take a break, I have a cup of tea, and all of a sudden my capacity to keep eating increases, and it works beautifully, absolutely beautifully. So the next bit, Grace, you're a terrible wifey, you're an awful woman, because also in the bag was a prezi, and this was my prezi. This lovely tonal blue skein is just, oh, it's dreamy. It's an Aran weight, Irish Aran weight yarn, 100% wool, hand dyed by Grace, 100 grams, 154 metres. Colour weight is a one of a kind, and it's the first era dye jobs. The first one of her first attempts, and you know something, it's really, really nice. At its darkest, it's a denim blue. At its palest, it's a really pale autumn sky blue. It's lovely. I wasn't expecting it. It came as an absolutely stunning surprise, and I have a feeling that this, just when I picked it up and I held it, I was thinking, what's it going to be? And like this, I had popped it in my hands and I thought, this is going to become a set of gloves or a set of mittens. Heavier Aran style mittens for the winter. Whether or not I find, do you know something, I actually have some simple cream yarn that I bought in Orkney earlier in the year. Do you remember? And if I put the two of those together, I might get some blue and white colour work out of it. Oh, that could be interesting. So blue and white colour work, blue and cream colour work mittens. Oh! So those are my stash enhancements for this time. And I am going to stop there because I have 2 competitions to run this time. I'm having 2 competitions to run in a single podcast episode for me is weird, super weird. And the reason there are 2 is because they are time sensitive. So, giveaway number 1 is for the Fergus sock design pattern. Now the Fergus sock design pattern has been designed by my friend Anna in Sweden, Anna of the Yarnisty podcast, and it is being used by Grace of Babel's Travelling Yarns for an Outlander knit along, which starts on Sunday the 10th of September. So Anna has kindly given me 2 copies of the sock pattern, one for myself and one to give away for one of you guys to win, to participate in the Babel's knit along that starts at the weekend. So in order to win that, what you're going to have to do is really, really simple. You're obviously watching me, so you're going to like and subscribe to the channel here. You are going to go over to Ravelry, to my Ravelry group, and in the Beardychiel Ravelry group you will find a thread marked Fergus sock giveaway. And in the Fergus sock giveaway you simply have to tell us what is your favourite sock to knit. Of all the socks you've knitted so far, what was your favourite? You don't have to tell us why, just tell us what your favourite sock was, and you have a chance to win Fergus. And having looked at the Fergus pattern, it's absolutely gorgeous. So for your opportunity to win a copy of Anna from Yarnisty's Fergus sock pattern, like and subscribe here, get over to Beardychiel's Ravelry group, Fergus sock giveaway, and tell me what your favourite sock pattern is when you're knitting socks. I will, on Sunday the 10th, after the festival, on my way home, random number generator, pick a winner, and I will pop that up on Ravelry. Because I'll have your Ravelry name, I can send that straight away to Anna and she will arrange to get a copy of that to you, and you can join in that knit along. So that's number 1. It feels strange having 2 giveaways in the one day. Right, let's move on to something different. Let's move on to Perth Festival of Yarn. The Perth Festival of Yarn is running this weekend. As you know, I am very friendly with its director, Eva Christie. We chat about knitting so often, it's not real. I have been helping out behind the scenes doing some web development for the festival, and This year I have been responsible for collecting the information, cutting and pasting together, and laying out some publications. Publication number 1 is the festival guide. So for those of you who are going to the festival, who watch my podcast, I hope to see you there. If you want a copy of the festival guide, it is now available on the front page of the Perth Festival of Yarn website at www.perthfestivalofyarn.uk. So please go along, pick up a copy. There's some advice in there about travel, about parking, about time, who's going to be there, the layout of the floor plan for the day, the list of vendors, and anything special about the vendors that they've let us know about before publication time. So that is if they've got specifically Scottish yarns, UK yarns, if they're featuring hand-spun yarns, if they carry haberdashery supplies, if they carry fibre for spinning, if they have a festival special that they've created. All of these things are there for you, courtesy of the festival. So go download a copy and plan your visit to the festival. As I said earlier, we're travelling and we're going to be staying in Perth Friday night, Saturday night, home on Sunday for work on Monday for Janet. Being retired, I don't have work on Monday, I'll just have to get up, have my breakfast and knit. But we're really looking forward to it. We're both looking forward to the weekend's break, despite the fact that it's going to be quite busy. So we're arriving on Friday. We're hoping to catch up with 1 or 2 people in the hotel on Friday night because there's a lot of us all staying in the same place. Saturday, some folk are teaching. I'm not teaching on Saturday. I'm generally floating about, having a quiet day. If they need a spare set of hands for setting up or anything, I've said to Eva I'm quite willing to be there to help tick off names on lists and things. I don't do heavy lifting, as you know, but I'm there for other duties if she needs help. Although knowing Eva, she's got everything so well organised, she's not going to be needing help. Saturday evening is the social event linked to the festival, which is at the Lovett Hotel, where we have an award-winning celebrity chef, Parveen Kumar, and his team preparing dinner for us. So we have this wonderful Indian buffet for the evening, which I'm really looking forward to. Then on Sunday, up, bright as a new pin, make sure I've got the cash in hand for getting round that vendor's gallery. Make sure all my class stuff is ready in its 2 boxes to take into the Saltire House where I'm teaching. Saltire House where I'm teaching, so that I can set up very, very quickly between 2 and 2:30, let people come in and get started quickly in the class. I will be in the Lagenfeld Studio sponsored Podcasters Lounge from 12 until 1. We've tried to arrange that there's a podcaster meetup from 12 to 1. If you look in the programme or the guide, that information is in there. So there are lots of podcasters, national and some international, who are going to be there. Come along, get a blether, say hi, because from 1 to 2 I may have to go shopping again, I don't know. And then over to the Saltire Centre, over to Saltire House, ready to teach my class. It finishes at 5:30. Festival finishes about the same time. I'll probably head back over once I've packed up to say my goodbyes, and then we'll be heading home and it'll be gone. It'll have come and gone like that, and I'm really excited about it. talking to Eva this morning because, as I said, I've been helping to paste together the festival guide and another publication. I was saying, how are things going? And she said ticket sales have been going very, very quickly on the website the last few days. So if you want a ticket sales on the website are still live, as are any classes with remaining spaces, and they will remain live until Thursday evening at 8 p.m. So you've got 2.5 days of online ticket buying left. After that, it's a ticket at the door, and based on footfall and based on the fire regulations for the building, there may be limited tickets at the door. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I think Eva said that she can have around about 1,000 people in there at a time, between 1,000 and 1,500 maybe. I don't remember the exact figure, but she has it calculated quite carefully. So if you want to guarantee that you're getting in, buy your ticket in advance online, just to make sure. What else do I need to tell you? I think that's it. I left myself a note on my phone. Hang on. What else did I leave as a note on my phone for myself? Let's see. Limited tickets, 1 or 2 spaces left for some classes. Check the website. The guide's on the website. And that takes us to the last bit. And the last bit for this podcast is giveaway number 2. And this giveaway is a Perth Festival of Yarn giveaway. I am absolutely delighted to be able to say that there is a second Perth Festival of Yarn publication. And it is a companion pattern collection called With This Skein. And With This Skein contains a range of patterns by Scottish and international designers. There are shawls, socks, hat, cowl, mittens. So there's 2 different mitten patterns. There's a hat and cowl pattern. There's a sock pattern, and there are 2 shawl patterns, all in this collection. And it features work by Maddie Harvey, myself, Carolyn McPherson in Canada, Susan Brzezinski, some of you might know better as Tall Polish Girl, Kirsty Bissett, who some of you might know better from the Little Bee podcast. Have I missed anybody? Well, I hope I don't miss anyone. Let's see. Machar shawl from Maddie Harvey, travelling texture shawl from myself, Argyle mittens from Kirsty Bissett, or Little Bee, the Fair Maid socks by Sarah Brzezinski, and Moss and Stone cowl, hat and mittens by Carolyn McPherson. So I have had the joy over the last week of working with all of these patterns, and a lovely set of photographs taken by Declan Mayer of our model Nikki, and it's been lovely to sit, go through the patterns, format them, put them together. The amount of work that has gone into prepping all of these is amazing, and they all look stunning. And I am very, very honoured to be able to say that that collection is going on sale on the Perth Festival of Yarn website in the next day or so. And I have the privilege, thanks to Eva, to say that I will give away a copy of that pattern collection to one lucky winner. So with this skein, Perth Festival of Yarn pattern collection, showing in the corner, will go free of charge in electronic format to anyone who is lucky enough to follow these instructions. So I'll make the announcement both here and on Instagram, so that all of my followers get it and get the message. You have to like and subscribe here, or like and subscribe or follow on Instagram, and you have to leave a message on my Ravelry group in the thread with this skein giveaway. And in the with this skein giveaway, please leave me any festival story, right? Any festival story you like. And on Sunday, at the end of the festival, when I go back after teaching my class, with Eva, we will do the random number generator bit, and one of you will get a copy of With This Skein sent off to you by email. So please, 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 like, subscribe, get into the Ravelry group. With This Skein pattern collection is going to be selling, and you are going to be saving yourself some money if you're the lucky winner. If you're not the lucky winner, you'll have to go to the website, you'll have to buy it, and you will get access to these wonderful patterns. There are some absolutely gorgeous designs. There's lace work, there's textured work, there's colour work. You're not going to be disappointed. I would love to knit. I would love to knit everything in it, actually. I've already knitted one of them. I've knitted Travelling Textures twice. And I'm delighted with it. I've seen Travelling Textures knitted in the yarn, in different combinations of yarns. The ones that appear in that festival publication, I have to say, is one of the most beautiful yarns I have had to knit with for years, and it will be on sale. Every one of those patterns, the yarn involved was supplied by vendors from the festival, and all of those yarns will be on sale at the festival. So if you've got an early copy of that programme over the next couple of days, you will be able to find your vendor, and if you want to knit exactly what's there in the colours that's there, those yarns should be available for you in the festival vendors gallery on Sunday afternoon. So please get in quick if you're up for it. If you don't have a trip to the festival and you don't want to buy it in advance and you're hoping to be the lucky winner, information for contacting all of the vendors will be made available to you, so that as the winner you can go and contact them after the event and still get access to those yarns if you wish. And that's me. That's everything for this time. It's been a blast. There's just been so much to say. I'm just astonished at how much is built up in 10 days. So, I'm going to finish there. I'm not going to ask you to do anything other than enjoy the podcast. I hope the enthusiasm rubs off. I hope some of you go out there and start knitting. I have heard from one of my social media friends, Mary, in fact one of my former pupils, Mary Baird McKinnon, that her son, when given an option of what to do in school, has opted for a knitting class, and she's been in touch with me, and I said I was absolutely delighted to hear that, and should he want any support he can have it online. I'll support anyone starting knitting who needs any advice whatsoever. So, from me to all the knitters out there, I really look forward to seeing some of you at Perth at the weekend. If I'm not seeing you at Perth, I'll see you back online somewhere. Remember the 2 giveaways. Be happy, be healthy, keep knitting. Cheerio.